Hello everyone and welcome to a truly incredible game that I never would have found without the suggestion of Vivek Aguila 2274. So thank you for that. It's from the Chinese team championship, I guess, but I can't find anything other than the one link that I've found. There's no coverage on Leeches, there's no coverage or rather broadcast on chess.com. So it was very, very difficult actually locating the moves of this game, but I'm very glad I was successful at doing so, as you guys will really, really love this one. So without further ado, let's check it out. Wei Yi, currently world number 7 on the live ratings versus Lu Qingnan. And this is a very old photo of Lu, from 2004. I couldn't find the newer one, but he is in fact older than Wei Yi is, just a very old photo. So yeah, let's check it out and see why I've really enjoyed this game. We have pawn to e4 by Wei Yi and pawn to e5 by Lu. We have knight f3, knight to f6, the Petrov defense, and knight captures on e5. We have d6, knight to f3, and knight captures on e4, the classical Petrov, and now knight to c3. This is my favorite line against the Petrov, and I'm very happy whenever I see a strong attacking player playing it. Knight captures on c3, d captures, and bishop to e7. Now, I would just like to mention, as I always mention it when this position arises, so many people play bishop to g4 here, and so many people of all levels. I've seen this in tournament play, I've seen this in person, I've seen this, people played it against me, people played it against people on my team, some 10 years ago, but I've even checked the database just for you to see it. Look at how many people actually play it. This is on the Leech's big database. So bishop to g4 in this position has been played 80,000 times, over 80,000 times. Now it's 9%. It's almost 10% of people play this, and maybe they don't lose the game, but if their opponent plays well, they really should lose the game, because you can easily challenge it with h3, and after the bishop moves, just queen d5 attacks the bishop, attacks the pawn on b7, and black has no other choice than to give up the bishop pair, and we'll have just a very, very poor game here. It's an open position with white having the bishop pair. If you're a strong player, this is enough for you. But yeah, you have to, if you play this, bishop to g4 is just no good here. So okay, bishop to e7, much better. We have bishop to e3 and knight to d7. We have queen to d2, preparing to castle queenside, kingside castles, queenside castles, and pawn to c6. Of course, you know that Wei Yi will now start an attack on the king side, whereas Lu will have to go for that queenside attack with some queen to a5, b5, b4, and so on. So okay, pawn to h4, starting the attack, and knight to f6. We have bishop to d3, and there are a couple of games. d5 is a known move, queen to a5 is a known move, but here we have rook to e8, and it is not as of move 11 that we have a completely new game. We have rook d to e1, bishop to d7, and now bishop to d4. So okay, Wei Yi's bishop pair is now fully operational, and Lu has to be very, very careful here. He plays pawn to h6, and Wei Yi just plays knight to g5. And okay, it looks very dangerous to capture this knight. The position opens up, the rook becomes alive, the bishop become even more powerful. So first he plays knight to g4. He says, I will capture on g5, but my real threat is captures, and you might lose your queen here, as it's right in front of the king on this diagonal. So pawn to f4 by Wei Yi, and now h captures on g5. The real problem with this position is that even with the best move, it's so complicated to play. I will just give you one engine line just to illustrate how difficult this is. And I've played the knight to c3 line against many opponents, and the positions are always very complicated, and you always have to sacrifice something. Now, if queen to a5 is played, which is a top engine move, like going after the a2 pawn. Okay, king b1, pawn to c5, attacking the bishop. Look at this, bishop to e5. Idea being that after the bishop is captured, you will give a check, and once the king moves, you will pick up the bishop on d7, and white can never open up the h file by capturing the knight on g5. So that's one thing that could happen, but that's bad. Good for black is rook a to d8, and now bishop captures on d6, bishop captures, and knight captures on f7. So you always have to sacrifice. King captures on f7, bishop to c4 check, king to g6, only good move for black. The position is still equal. Rook captures on e8, bishop captures, and now queen to d5. Threatening h6 check, followed by queen to g8 checkmate. So black will play h5 in order to prevent this, and now something like bishop to d3 check, king f6. And okay, if you can survive this, good for you, but it doesn't look like something you should be able to pull off. But okay, after f4, h captures on g5 was played. This is, well, suboptimal to say the least. H captures on g5, and now pawn to f5. Blocking the bishop, and the idea being that if you capture g captures on f6 en passant, then bishop captures, and okay, we counter the bishop, we counter the rook, everything is perfectly fine here. But there is one move Lou missed after pawn to f5, and that is Weiyi's next move. It is the move that you guys will find, and I urge you to find it yourselves, because you will really feel good about yourself, and you will feel good about, you know, your entire day, the entire week. If it was bad, it will be better. Find it yourselves, and you will, you know, be thankful. So have at it while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on always looking for exciting new ways to sacrifice your queen. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is bishop to b6. Now, I know you guys are wondering, how is this sacrificing my queen? Are we not sacrificing our bishop? Well, yes, but really no. The point is that if the bishop is accepted, and let's say a captures on b6, but it doesn't matter even if the queen captures it, bishop to c4 check. How do you defend? If the king moves, just rook to h8 checkmate. So if d5, queen captures on d5. You could also play bishop captures on d5, but obviously for you know, making it look cooler, we're gonna capture with the queen. And after pawn captures, bishop captures with check. King f8, rook to h8 is checkmate, so you could give up a bishop, and now you have to go king to f8, and rook to h8 is checkmate. So this is something that Lou most certainly missed when he came up with this whole captures on g5 followed by f5 business. There is no way to save the black queen. So okay, he continues with pawn to d5, stops the bishop to c4, and Weiyi just helps himself to his opponent's queen. Bishop captures on d8. We have rook a captures on d8, and now bishop to e2. So okay, Weiyi is now up a queen, but there is a bishop and a knight for that queen for Lou. So let's see how the game continues. Knight f2, going after the rook, but Weiyi goes bishop h5, also goes after the rook. Knight captures on h1, but now not bishop captures on e8, rook captures on h1, saying if you move the rook, then just bishop g6, and that's pretty much it. Whatever you play, it doesn't really matter. Let's say pawn to b5, g3 or g4, queen h2, and that's going to be game. So after this rook captures on h1, bishop to d6, allowing the capture of the rook, and while you can still go for bishop to g6, Weiyi takes the rook. We have rook captures on e8, and now pawn to g3, preparing queen to h2. So king to f7, now Lou starts running. If you can hide the king to the queen side, maybe you can still play this, but now queen to d4, going after the g7 pawn. If the king moves, we have pawn to b6, also the a7 pawn was attacked, and now rook to h7, going after the g7 pawn. Rook to g8, sorry, not right away, bishop to f8 first, defending the g7 pawn, and queen to f6 with check. We have king to g8 and queen to g6 now, attacking the rook if the bishop moves, but the real threat is of course queen to h5, the f7 square will be covered, and then rook to h8 will be checkmated. There is nothing you can do regarding this. Rook to e1 check, king to d2, and he was in this position on move 28 that Lou Qingnan resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. You can play a few more rook moves like rook g1, but after queen h5 there is no defense against rook to h8 checkmate. Few more checks can be given. You can even give up the g3 pawn, but after king f2, rook to h8 will really be checkmate. You can even sacrifice the rook, but we're not gonna, you know, go into that. So yeah, brilliant stuff by Weiyi as expected. And yes, okay, his opponent is some 200 rating points lower rated, but I mean, we often see games against players who are 200 rating points lower rated, and you don't see, I mean, moves like these being played. Bishop to b6 is truly marvelous. And yeah, if you like this line, if your opponent plays bishop to g4, know that everyone will play it. I've seen 2000 rated players play it, 2100s, 2200s, 2200s, 23, 2400s, 2500s, you know, not ELO, but maybe online. You know, they do run into it. If they're not familiar with the line, you should know it, and you should punish your opponents well. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Another brilliancy by Wei Yi. Very much looking forward to seeing what he does next. Like I said, he's currently world number 7, a few rating points behind Gukesh. So we'll see if he returns to world number 5. I would like to thank Joe Lennox, Austin Wheeler, Walid Abdullah, Medo the Chess Dog, and Medo the Super Chess Dog for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check upon your wonderful suggestions such as this one and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.